This is Joe Mullings from 160 Studios in Delray Beach, and I'm excited to be part of the AVMED conference going on this year. And I was kidding before, it's the AVMED conference like never seen or experienced before. Joining me today is the recently retired chairman of B. Braun of America, Carroll Neubauer. Carroll, thanks for coming aboard.
My pleasure.
And the dynamic duo that pulled this off, Ray Briscuso and Wendy Saminsky from AVMED. Team, thanks for sitting in on this.
For having us.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. So, Carroll, let's start off with you. Are you joining us today from Pennsylvania, B. Braun's headquarters?
Yes, I am. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, right out of one of our conference rooms on the board level.
Wow. And that's been a 25-year career there, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
It is nearly 25 years heading the B. Braun of America operations and 29 years on the B. Braun Global Management Board.
Yeah, and I'm gonna come back to that because I want to dig into a little history there.
Sure.
And Ray and Wendy. So we have been chatting a bit about the show, and I'm an enormous fan of the AVMED show every year.
Yeah.
And this year was supposed to be in Toronto, and it's still in Toronto, but it's everywhere else in the world as well. So tell me about how you pivoted on that.
Well, I'll start and let Wendy chime in. We had great leadership. You've already met, not only was the chairman at B. Braun Medical USA, but he was also chairman of our conference. In the very beginning, we planned to have it on site like we always have, host 3,300 or more people, have shows, have dinners, have great sessions and speakers. We were then told to plan to have both in-person as well as a virtual component. And as time went by, we were quickly told to plan for a 100% virtual. So we've been working on this for a long time, but it's still a super challenge. It's our first ever as an all virtual conference.
And
There's a lot of exciting things, and to planning a virtual conference. It feels like some of the challenges of an in-person event where we've always had so many great sessions and people can't attend everything at once. The virtual format allows you to really take advantage of all of the sessions.
And Ray, so Wendy's tucked into a nice place. Carol's tucked into a nice place. I'm in an okay place. You're running and gunning. Tell me about your venue today, my friend.
This is the real world. I got stuck out. My license expired. I'm outside of the Motor Vehicle Administration. I couldn't get back to a real office, but same thing can happen to anyone at the conference this year. They can watch if they're in line at the grocery store or the post office, because everything we're doing is available on archive. Even if we release it live on October 5, 6, or 7, or some things were even released earlier, you can watch it anytime and any place and anywhere. And that's the great thing about the virtual medtech conference.
I love it. I love it. And Carroll, you were at Braun headquarters, as you mentioned, and you've had an amazing build in that organization. I think it's 25 years, and took it from about 250 million to 2 billion plus. Obviously, you and your team. And did I read correctly? You started there as a legal assistant.
We're a family-owned company, and the CEO at that time, Ludwig Georg Braun, hired me as a legal assistant. Exactly, that's what I was, and was on his side for a couple of months, and then he said, "I don't need a legal assistant following me with my briefcase all day," and he sent me to the United States, and I got legal education then there with a law firm. Then came back, became general counsel in 1991. And did that for 6 years, and then he gave me the U.S. organization, and then just happened exactly what you said. It grew nicely with a great team here that was already in place, and it's been a very, very good story of organical growth over these 25 years.
So Braun has put out some fantastic products and platforms over the years, and most organizations, or most medical device organizations, always think they need a head of engineering or a science-based individual for the type of growth that somebody like Braun has had. I don't think anybody ever says, go out and find me somebody with a JD and a law background to grow something by $1.5 billion plus. Shed some light on that for me.
Well, first of all, I have 2 law degrees, a German and an American. That's something that I do not advertise very heavily in the United States. But outside the United States, I do. lawyers, there are a lot of lawyers that are CEOs. You'd be surprised if you go through all over the industries, how many lawyers are actually become CEOs. We have a broad education that actually qualifies us to lead that, and I think it works very well. Our new CEO, Anna Maria Braun, is a lawyer, an educated lawyer as well, with a German and American law degree. So I don't think it's that much advertised, but you'd be surprised how many lawyers are leading large organizations.
Is it because of your skills on the critical thinking side, Carroll?
I think what lawyers tend to learn to do very early on is to take a substance of facts, find the relevant ones, and then put them in the right context. That is something that we early on learn to do, and that is a skill set that helps you throughout your career. And by the way, Ray's a lawyer as well. So he leading the medtech conference in his company. Ray can talk about that as well. Lawyers do have a skill set.
Well, no, I wanted to say, Joe, I want to jump in and say the legal background also, we benefited AVMED. I mean, Carroll led the charge of all our board members on the repeal of the device tax. And having a lawyer who understands, I think, how to draft legislation, how to draft arguments, how to read the facts. And I mean, it's been a tremendous value, not only running Braun, but he's been an amazing member of the AVMED board.
Well, thank you. But there were a lot of us on that medical device tax repeal. So I don't want to take too much credit. Well, I will take credit for is for the MedTech conference, because this is my 4th time that I'm chairing this conference. And I will also be on the record to be the first one to chair a virtual conference. And I'm very proud, excited about that.
Nice. I love that. I love that. So Wendy, you've been instrumental in making this event come off. And I'm sure you've got some unbelievable stories of going from an analog to a digital transition, and all the things you never had to think of or imagine before. Give us the first couple that come to mind that were, I did not expect this to happen.
Well, I mean, I have to tell you, we did so many demos of potential platforms to make the transition. And we finally landed on one that we feel like is a perfect fit. And then we also had to think about the strategy of how we would roll out content. So one of the things that we've done that I feel like is kind of unique for conference organizers is we've decided to roll out some of our programming early. So we have on-demand sessions available today. So if you were to register and log in, you'd be able to see probably about 40 sessions at this point that have been pre-recorded. And then in addition, we're also doing live streams that allow you to get on, it's kind of like a watch party. Some of them are done actually live. And you can chat with other attendees, ask speakers questions, and they're able to respond to you immediately. So that's been something that we're really excited about. And then October 5th through 7th, we're going to be treating the broadcast almost like you would be able to tune in all day, or you can, select specific sessions that you'd like to attend and add them to your calendar. So we're trying to allow the most flexibility for all of our participants.
And Ray and Wendy, I'll both ask you the question, and then Carroll, I'd ask you as well as the chairperson. Do you think once we come out the other side of this, however that gets declared and wherever that ends up on the calendar, will we be living in a hybrid type world of these types of events beside business travel? But what have you learned that you say, when I go back to analog or in person, I really think this will be powerful? Wendy, let me start with you.
I mean, I think so. We're definitely going to plan for a hybrid event next year. I think the beauty of being able to join from wherever you are all across the world is just so incredibly powerful. Now that we're going to experience that, we don't want to make that change. And we're finding that our attendees are using our platform right now to start to make connections. So we don't want, I think in the future, the limitation of geography or timing to be a barrier for participation.
Right?
Yeah, Joe, what I'll say is when this happened, we thought to ourselves, let's make our weakness our strength. Our weakness is people will not be here in person. But the strength is we can now get any speaker because they can join us from anywhere, whether it be Seattle or whether they be in Timbuktu. Number two, we can save people money. They don't have to get on airplanes. They don't have to pay for hotels. Number three, we can show them the content anytime they want. Our biggest complaint in the past was, why did you schedule this great regulatory session the same time as this payment session, the same time as this financial? Well, that doesn't happen anymore. The good news is when this year is over, there won't be a weakness, Joe. It'll be strength and strength. If you want to come in person, you come in person. If you want to stay in your office or home, and we'll still be able to get all of the best sessions, and now we will be able to add back in that personal touch. Instead of networking like we're doing, and we still see each other, we still have eye contact, you'll be able to actually break bread with people in person.
Love that. And then Carol is chairperson of this event, great event, and running it for the last 4 years. What was the big aha moment for you, or the hard decision looking at the watch on your wrist that you had to make at one point or another, the go or no-go time?
Well, of course, we were all hoping for a personal meeting. And as that got nearer and nearer, we knew at some point in time we were going to have to make a call. It was always going to be a combination of virtual and in person. But then in June, the beginning of June, was clear that the Canadians could not give us a guarantee that we could hold the conference. That was when we finally pulled the plug. We already had preparations for virtual because we wanted to do a hybrid model. But then on the 1st of June, we decided there is no thing. We have to renegotiate our hotel contracts and everything. We also had financial obligations that we had to care for. So in the beginning of June, we made that call. We were prepared. We had a platform, but now this platform, of course, had to be scaled up to a whole different degree. And while my heart is broken that I will not see all my colleagues in Toronto, and that will go for many of us, I think this, and I'll get back to that in a second, will be one of the best conferences ever. And next year, when we meet in person, all those people who can't come in person will be able to join us then virtually, as we will certainly from now on have a platform that will be a hybrid virtual and in-person meetings. And Ray just pointed out, we've been very proud of our initial international participation. We've grown that over the years from 5 to 10 to 15 to 20% last year. And now people don't have to travel. They can come from all over the world at any given time, don't have to wake up in the middle of the night. They can look at the recordings afterwards. So they have an opportunity to participate without the expenses, lower registration costs, and the best quality. Why the best quality show? Because we have so much more flexibility with regard to the speakers. If you couldn't be there on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, we couldn't use you. Now we've got a whole lineup of high quality speakers that could come to us because they are at different times. They were not bound on those 3 days. We've been doing tapings over months or weeks now. So we've got a lineup that's incredible, making this more accessible, less expensive, higher quality. What else do you want?
I love it. I love it. You got me on that one. I'm in. So Carol, for the few people who may not be aware of what AVMED stands for, what it does. So let's think about maybe the CEO or even the senior executive that is not quite sure. What is it that AVMED does? How would we explain it, and why should they be active and interested in, one, maybe joining the organization, two, for sure going to the show?
Well, the MedTech conference I'll come to after that. AVMED, of course, is an industry association of the medical device manufacturers that's incredibly important. If you look at MEDUFA, if you look at the regulations, if you look at the FDA regulations, if you look at reimbursement, all the things that politically are happening around us, no organization can do what we can do together. And that's what Adventment is all about. We're a powerful organization, but we're also an educational organization. You can learn, you can send your employees, you can send your colleagues there to learn more about our industry and the regulatory situation and everything that goes along, quality management, compliance, which is so important. You can't do compliance alone. You need a group that helps you with compliance. All those things AVMED adds to, but one thing is very important on top of that, and it is the networking. Being with your fellow CEOs and top executives, learning, exchanging information, working together on joint problems and opportunities is an incredible experience. I've been over 20 years on the AVMED board. My wife says that's the one place in the world where you're always happy.
Yeah. Wow.
Ray, last year you and I were together down here in Delray Beach with Scott, and you had pointed out to the audience that it's probably one of the purest shows where there's not a CEO or a leader of these very large companies that are covered by their posse, or it takes time to get through them. You know, we had Leon Hirsch on the floor, Lobo walking around last year. I mean, the access and the ability to just go up and chat with those leaders is uncanny. Shed a little light on that for me.
So when you're in person, and we're going to have some of that as well, the CEOs are there. What's great about AVMED, our board of directors, is a who's who of the industry. So we have the top executives that participate in this conference, whether it be the CEO of BD, Medtronic, Braun, Zimmer Biomet, Stryker, you name it, they're there. And for instance, this year we're going to have some breakfasts, and you're going to randomly be placed at a table, just like if you came into the conference and you're sat down at a table of 10. You might be sitting with Walt Rosebrough, the CEO of Steris. You might be sitting at a table with Carol Neubauer. We don't put all our CEOs at one table. They mix in like everybody else. And I think what's great about our conference, it's for industry by industry, which means industry tells us what are the most critical issues, who are the people that know the most, who do they want to hear from, and that's what we put together on stage. And as Wendy mentioned, you can chat with them. You might be live with them on a breakout. And we also have when you sign up for the conference and you create your profile, you can see who else has signed up, and you can ask to meet with them and set connections and set times, whether it be by phone, by email, in person. So we allow people to connect. It's all about the network, as Carol mentioned. It's all about helping industry. Once a year, we all come together, and this is the one time we do it. Whether it's in person or virtual, it's once a year. The show must go on.
Wendy, is there an app, and we can put the contact on the screen here, but is there an app that we would go to, or a website in particular we go to in order to get an understanding of the schedule and the capabilities that the show brings to us?
Yes, you would go to the medtechconference.com. We have the full program listed. You can also sign up for our mailing list where we'll send you emails with program updates. And there's tons of information and resources available for you, including a live demo of the platform.
Super. Awesome. Carol, my last question to you. So what now, after you've been running hard and heavy and delivering incredible value to the industry and the patients that you served, we talked a little bit about this transition from going from the treadmill to maybe a little slower of a stroll. Can you share that experience with us?
Well, one of the things during such a transition period is the greatest experience is your increasing irrelevance, right? You start board, you're teaching and working with your successor, and your successor takes over a part of it, and you're getting less irrelevant, and then takes over everything, and now you're really irrelevant. I'm in the stage of irrelevant. As you say, I'm still living, and I'm still happy, but it was an experience of its own after that kind of life. But I will not rest. There'll be soon coming out an announcement on what I'm going to do with the rest of my career. I can't talk about it right now, but it was an interesting experience. We had a podcast, we had a medtech conference on that. You can see it, Passing the Baton. That was one of our programs where my successor and I and David Perez and his successor, Antoinette, talk about how this transition period works. So your question will be addressed exactly during the conference.
Love it. Love it. Love it. That's going to be a one that I'm going to mark for sure, because those transitions, when you go from a full sprint to now what do I do, it's fascinating to me. Well, Carol, Wendy, and Ray, I do appreciate your time. Ray, I hope you get your license back, my friend. Wendy, thank you for the amazing lift on behalf of AVMED and the entire industry. And Carol, congratulations, first of all, for an amazing career and for pulling this off as the chairperson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Same.
Thanks for having us, Joe.
Everybody, you don't want to miss this conference. Totally check it out. This is Joe Mullings from 160 Studios. Be well.
Thank you, Joe. Take care.